What is up, guys? It's Josh back with JF Trading. I am late to the game this morning. Had a few too many drinks last night for my brother's graduation. Shout out, Andrew. Congrats. I'm going to run you through a couple of names this morning in the markets. We're trading flat off of the bounce we had yesterday. Going to run you through a few names before I jump into the overall markets. If you guys can see up on the screen right now, is AMAT. If you can see that run we've had from 15 to 45, just straight up, quite the move. We are gapping higher this morning. We are trading at 46. We traded at 46 for 1 point last night. We are now back down around the $45 level right now, but this stock has been straight up. We've seen constant momentum. This is one of those semiconductor, technology type of like manufacturing equipment, services, softwares to semiconductors, displays, and related industries worldwide. So it's a tech stock. Tech stocks have been incredibly in favor over the last couple of months. You can see all of the major tech stocks are at all-time highs. This one's got a little bit ways, $10 to go, but it's almost there. The fact that we haven't really had a significant pullback over the last, 2 years is pretty significant if you ask me. I think the biggest pullback we saw was maybe 9%, 8%. So quite the move. You can see we're extended past these trend lines here. So that signals that, for the last how many years? 20 years. The stock has been in a relatively flat range, skewed minorly to the upside. If you can see this thing slowly trending higher. But this could be the opportunity to break that cycle, break the trend. We're trading now above this pivot line, which is something that's only been done once back in 1999. So let's see how far this thing can run. It's always smart to keep an eye out on the monthly levels, guys. This is the daily chart. You can really get lost in the noise, especially from the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Doesn't really give you a picture of where the stock's been, where it could go. Let's put up Deere and Company and make some tractors. They're actually gapping up pretty significantly this morning as well. We closed yesterday at $113, and we're going to be opening somewhere around 120. So quite the move higher. Posted some very favorable earnings. They were expecting $170, got $250. So quite the beat. John Deere, or Deere and Company, I should say, has beat their earnings pretty significantly, and they are gapping up above some pretty significant levels as well. So if you see, we're going to be at the all-time highs. The stock has never been higher ever before in the history of its existence, and it goes back quite a while. So we're going to be trading around the 120 level, which is above this trend line over the last 50 days, and that's only happened twice. Let's see if the momentum can maintain itself and continue the trend higher. Volume has been surprisingly down in the monthly, though, which is interesting since given the run that we've had. So maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe they bought back some shares and the pool shrunk a little bit. I don't think that's the case, but you never know. So keep an eye on Deere this morning, guys. Could get some real nice moves, clean moves to the upside or the downside. It's $123 though, so it's a little bit more pricey. So from Deere, let's jump over to CRM. CRM also reported earnings after the bell yesterday and had a big shakeout candle, if you guys can see that. Big shakeout. So we had that big pop up, we had the big run down, and then we're kind of just trading flat towards the middle here. We're actually back up a little bit. We closed at $87.50, and now we're going to be opening somewhere around 90. So decent move to the upside. We're gapping back up to these highs right here. Let's see if we can crack that 90.28 and start a new trend higher, or let's see if we toss around maybe in between this gap here to be filled. Not entirely sure what happens. Let's see how that plays out. We had some extra volume yesterday on the daily. We've cracked maybe almost double of what we did the day before, and then a few days prior. So the volume is strong within this name. People are to keeping an eye out for what exactly is happening in CRM. I remember a few months ago, or maybe it was last year, I forget when it was exactly, where the whole Twitter rumor happened. I think it might have been this bar right here, where they said that CRM was buying Twitter. It could have been, yeah, it was last year actually. That was what, somewhere around here. Regardless, it's an interesting stock to keep an eye on. It's one of those very favorable tech stocks. But let's jump into the SPYs, guys, just to give you a feel where we're at right now. So we had a bounce off of that pivot around the 235.84 level. You can see on the 1 minute we're trading a little flat, a little higher. Closed at 236.73. We're going to be opening about maybe a little less than $1 higher. So we the strength has continued. We had a dead cat bounce yesterday. I think that had to do with a lot of the earnings that were being reported. So in a generally shitty market, we had a bunch of stocks beat earnings, so the stocks ran higher. And I think a lot of those stocks that are comprised in the indexes were obviously the ones that had earnings and they went up, so the stock market went up. So I'm not entirely sure this is an actual real move higher here. Could be a bounce just in earnings. Let's see how it plays out today in the open market. If we get an immediate sell-off, then that'll give you a good sign of I think I was right in that regard, that it was earnings. But the next relevant level you really have to watch out for is 238.50. We're about $1.50, $2 away. We'll probably be $1 away from the open, or at the open, I should say. So let's see if we crack this pivot, this pivot, this pivot, and then we got a couple more to the upside, and then it's uncharted territory. So let's see how far these markets run. They have the potential, they have the news, they have the abilities, they have Donald Trump at the helm. So really anything can happen. If you guys can see crude, we bounced off the lows, traded towards this pivot, and now we are back above the bottom fan. And the relevant pivot to the upside right here would be this guy right here. So if I extend this to the right, you can see, yeah, look at that, we're trading perfectly with it around the 50, just above $50, around 40-30, or 50-30, 50-40. So let's see if we get some strength through that continuing continuing trend line. I'm not entirely sure that we get that, but that's a big level for sure. So let's see if crude stays above 50 today. That's obviously the big level. Excuse me, that was embarrassing. Go to GC. Gold had had a weird day yesterday. So we had a big pop on the stock market. 3% correction a few days ago, and then the stock market was up relatively speaking. So gold sold off a little bit, and now we're kind of just bouncing here. So I'm going to put a pivot so we can keep track of these levels. Boom, boom, boom. So let's keep an eye on whatever this is, 1245.80. It's definitely a level of some bounce. We got a little bit of bounce right there. It's an ugly line. Let me fix that up for you guys. Boom, boom. So yeah, the 1240 level, it's obviously a point to keep an eye on. It's a level of support without a doubt. Let's see if we continue higher, if we trade one-on-one with crude and the overall markets. Don't know if that's the thing. Don't know if we're going to couple back up with the markets, but you never know. So it's always best to keep an eye on gold, crude, SPYs, maybe some overall trending stocks. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope this covered it all. This is my last video for the week. Hope you enjoy. I'm going to have a couple of videos for you next week, but I'm going to Europe, so I might do an update over there. I'm not sure, but you might be without me for a few weeks. All the best, guys. Best trading. Good luck. Stay in your hands. Build the wall. Everything. Best of luck. Comment down below if I messed anything up. Suggestions, stocks, yada, yada, yada. Thanks, guys. Cheers.